Karunya Rao. With me is Manisha Gupta, and today all eyes on steel prices. Before that, I was looking at the stock prices of many of these steel makers, Jindal Steel, Tata Steel. I mean, in fact, the entire metals pack is looking very upbeat today, in line with the breadth of the market. But this one particularly is looking quite resilient, one of the biggest outliers today. So, are they reacting to the fall in steel prices, perhaps?
That, and plus, as there has been those formal statements that we've seen coming from the ministry, that they're actively looking to do away with the export duty. Remember, that has been the major thing, and that has impacted the steel companies, metal companies so much. So we have seen 15% to 45% of export duty on many of the inputs in sense of steel and steel products as well. And that, as ministry says, they're actively looking at the request of these steel makers to do away with it, to work on it, to waive it off or bring it down. That is something that really is positive for many of the steel companies and steel prices in India as well. With the steel prices coming off and with the raw material prices coming off as well, the Indian government doesn't seem or does not see the merit in these export duties, and that really has curbed the kind of export that India as a country has been doing. So that clearly is the big positive that you can look at the steel industry today.
In fact, I'm seeing a lot of auto companies also looking very happy and upbeat about the fall in commodity prices of late. But what has been the quantum of fall in steel prices, and now what is the next big level to watch?
So the steel prices have been coming down gradually. If you look at the last 1 week as well, we're down by 2%. On a monthly basis, we're down by anywhere between 5 to 7%, depending on what steel, quality that you're looking at. And if you look at the last 12 months as well, we are down by 40% in sense of steel rebar prices. And that the markets does believe that 50% of global steel production and consumption happens in China. So if you're looking at the global steel prices, we have seen those coming off. The steel demand for China also seems to be peaking off. The market doesn't believe that there's going to be any structural change when it comes to steel production or consumption for that matter. And when you look at the steel inventories within China as well, those seem to be building up, which we haven't seen in last many years actually. So that's another reason that you have seen the global steel prices come off. The Indian steel prices also have come off quite considerably, and I think the markets are waiting for some kind of a boom period to now begin, which they expect will start from mid-October.
Because right now all the inflation data and all the industrial numbers, whether it's from the macro standpoint or from a demand standpoint, looking very bleak. So is this going to be sort of the trend for steel prices, at least for the next 1 month or 2 months, before like you said, it meaningfully rebounds?
Well, yes, if we are looking at the US Fed rate hike, I think that is going to be the major event. Once that is out of the way, markets will want to, in light of that, in view of that, want to watch on how are we looking at inflation in other countries, how are we looking at those recession fears everybody seems to be talking about, and the dollar index, which is as of now trading at 110, but people saying that yes, it is going to be between 95 on the lower side to 113 on the higher side. That is still considerably on the higher side, and that will continue to weigh onto the kind of industrial and manufacturing demand that we are looking at. But most people also seem to be believing that we are near bottom right now, and it can't get worse from here.
Okay, but I just hope that the stock prices are not short-lived, the cheer in the stock prices are not short-lived, and we continue to rebound as always, and as we have in the recent past, especially auto and some of these metal names. With that, it's a wrap on today's conversation. Yes, if you are invested in any of these manufacturing companies or directly into steel as a commodity, be wary and see how things pan out before you decide to invest more.